Well, good afternoon. Today we're responding to a question from video 290, Memphis Monday, what was it, 293 on the carved wooden bowls this week. And this week 293, we made these carved wooden bowls which consist of a stacked rings that you glue together and then carved into a bowl. Well, Steve Walker made the comment, it'd been kind of helpful if you'd have showed us how to make the rings. And human nature kicked in, and I wrote back and said, well, I was trying to save time. Yeah, trying to save time. Well, of course, that's bogus. Well, I'm always trying to save time, but why would you save time? By cutting out the most important thing about the video. It's stupid. So today we're going to answer that question. How do you make the rings? Let's knock off the chit chat and get to making. So the bowl consists of a series of stacked rings, and these are the templates here. These templates right here were simply drawn freehand, and as the small bowl was this week, just ad-libbed. And the templates that we made to support this project were made using ellipses. I'll show you how to do the Freelance here. First thing I'm going to show you is kind of the guiding principle here. On these rings, they all work if the one on top of this one ends up right in the center of the one below it. See what I mean? See that line right there? So if I make this ring, however I make it, I just got to make sure that the next one is its outer diameter hits the center of this ring. So in this case, if you're just going to freelance it, I'd do it in pencil so you can erase and get it right, until it's where you want it. Okay, so I'll say that's my bottom. So now I want my next ring, so I can cut that bottom out and lay it on the piece here, and then I know that my next ring is going to be like that, and then my next ring will sit over these two, and you just keep doing that. That's Freelance. I think I made that as clear as I could. So I cut out this little piece we just drew freehand. Now I want to make my next ring. So what I do is I go around here and trace it again. So if I want my next ring, I know that that's the center of my next ring. So and that doesn't have to be perfect, because that edge is going to be taken off there. It's going to be ground off. Okay, there's my second ring, and you can see that You can see that on this one here, here's my bottom piece. If I trace that, now if I take my second ring, you can see that my second ring, that line is going to be right in the center of my second ring. As a matter of fact, if I went around this in the same way, I just made the next ring. So that's how you do it freehand. So for these bowls, I just use the freehand method, which I recommend that you use because you can make your bowls all kinds of infinite different shapes. You know, they don't have to be perfect ellipses. And for our bowl here, I drew perfect ellipses. Let me show you how I did that. This will probably take a minute and a half, but stay tuned because I think it might be valuable. All you do is you get a string. These are called foci, and you just figure out how far you need them to be for your bowl. The closer they are together, the closer the thing is to a circle. If you want your bowl long and narrow, they're far apart. If you want it to be more stubby, you move these things together. Okay? You probably did this in school for sure. And you just take a pencil, and that draws your perfect ellipse. Now, that just drew one side of it. Now, you want to make the next, let's say you want it to be out to the edge here. What you do on that is you get you another piece of string that's a little longer, that goes out to the place where you want the edge of your second piece. Okay, now you're going to think, well, why in the world does that work? How come you don't have to move your foci? All you have to do is just change the length of your string. Well, the reason is because you can prove it to yourself with a thought experiment. If you realize that a circle is a special case of an ellipse, where both foci, you can have more than two foci, but all the foci are right in the center. So on this piece right here, both foci are right here in the center. Can you dig it? So now, if I want to make a ring inside that, I would just have to shorten my string to the inside, and it would come right like that. So that's how you do. That's how you make the elliptical method. So here I'm doing that ellipse was, the foci were kind of close together, kind of made a round ellipse. I'll show you how to, say you want it to fit on this board, but you want it to be long and skinny but fits in this board. Well, there's a formula. You can look it up on the internet, but I don't recommend that because it doesn't matter, because the story is you'll forget the formula, but if you understand the principle, then you can always derive the formula. Okay, so now my ellipse is going to be long and skinny, because those foci are real far apart. See what I mean? So that's how you make those rings. You can make them two ways. I showed you two ways to make them. You can make them freehand, which I actually recommend. Gives you a lot more flexibility. And once you make the ring, you can sand it down and get it just the way you want it. And the other way is to draw an ellipse using the string method. And the golden rule is you just got to make sure that the smaller ring fits around the center of the larger ring below it. If you do that, then it's foolproof. You glue it together with the Tide Bond 3 and you're golden. All right, so that's my answer, and I'm sticking by it. Thanks for playing along.